Oh, oh. Thank you. Someone's liked before I've even I've even gone live. Thank you very much. That's very, very sweet. Thank you. Oh yeah, I have to check my. Oh, is it chipmunk? Let's check. Let me check. Let me check. Yay! Let me check. Yay! Cool. Sometimes it's fine, other times it's not. It is fine today. Let me just adjust. Get all of my grey hair in. Make sure it's all showing. Let me just share the link on Facebook. Yes, there's a misleading picture on my stream today. I bought a wig. I'm going to a party. I'm going out partying to a naughty thing. I'm going to a strip club. My friend arranged it. So I thought, you know what, let's buy a wig. So I bought a cheap wig just to, you know. I was just trying it on. Let me do this. Whoop. No. Oops. Funny. Okay. Okay. So hello, hi, welcome. welcome to welcome to the Thursday YouTube live broadcast. Hello. I'm being silly, sorry. Yeah, so it's Thursday at 6 o'clock. We go live and talk through YouTube about non-duality, not two-ness. So you ask questions through Skype, and my Skype name or address is rebekahmaroon. So you friend me on there, and then you can ask questions either written or you can call in to talk to me live during the stream. Yeah. Yes. So I'll just sit for a little bit, and it's very hairy, this wig. Lots of bits of hairs stick over you after you've worn it. That's the only problem. It was only a £3 wig though, so what can I expect? So yeah, I'll just sit for a little bit, and then I'll speak about the subject, which today is non-duality. It's not a particular thing, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, it's not any particular thing. It's not any particular thing. So it's not a part. It's not something limited. It's not a particular this or a particular that. It's not any particular thing. So we'll just sit here for a minute and Acknowledge the sweaty palms, sweaty fingers, the sweaty armpits. How yummy. How yummy. Maybe you can't hear, there's a plane flying over. I mean, you can't get much more beautiful. You can't get more beautiful. Such simplicity. Such simplicity that's overlooked. As humans grow up, we're conditioned to look to time, look to future for something better than what's currently happening. Your happiness, your joy, your freedom, your peace is in time, is in future, is in acquiring something and having something and being somewhere. That it's overlooked. That is merely pleasure. That is merely a better experience, a higher high. But a high can't, it has to end somewhere. You can only get to a certain height before it's gonna come down. Like you can't ride on a high. That's why when you're a drug addict, you have to get a bigger hit and a bigger hit, because it's not doing it so much. It's always gonna come down from that high. So it can't be in temporary pleasures, as pleasurable as they are. It's always going to end. Experience is experience. And everything that appears is experience. It appears and disappears. appears and disappears. The ocean moving and flowing. They say the earth is also doing this movement of expansion and contraction. So it's not one particular thing. It's not just the expansion, that is it, and the contraction isn't, because therefore it can't be a permanent thing, because it's going to be moving and changing. You'll be hanging on to the expansion and rejecting the contraction, the in-breath, out-breath. It's not one thing over the other. It's not nothing over everything. It's not left over right, hot over cold, black over white. And so what is being described here is a collapsing of something that is claiming to be one particular thing. So I am this and I'm not everything else. I am one limited thing. It's a total falling in love in which you collapse, in which this dream you can't possibly be in love. There can just be this wholeness. There can just be all things, the ebb and the flow, the hot and the cold, the movement and the stillness. And when this sense, this dream sense of you seems to collapse, there can't really be two things. There can't really be stillness and movement. There can't really be ebb and flow. There can't be this division of this and that. In the collapsing, there's a total nullification of that which can judge this and that. It's a total nullification, if that's even a word. I'm making it a word. Nullification of opposites. Like it can't be true. There can't be opposites. There would need to be something in the middle to look and compare this to that. It's whole. This is whole. And what's being spoken about now isn't some abstract, far off thing, metaphysical, quantum physical thing that you need to get in a book and try to study and learn and understand it all. It's really this. It's really this. Like a dropping or a dismembering of the attachment to the dualistic thinking. It doesn't mean that there isn't dualistic thinking. That's thinking. but not, it's not a reality. It's not who you are. It's not true. It's not true. Like in this moment, what's happening right now isn't bound to dualism, isn't bound to the intellect and to the mind and ideas and thinking and this and that. That can appear as part of functioning, as part of the appearance of human braining. We have these brains that operate, that think and interpret, but it's not the experience. So it's not the truth of the matter. It's an appearance. And so this is a moving back to that, or that coming forward. And it's right here. It can only ever be here. Not in stories, not in ideas, ideology, beliefs, what you've heard, what you've read, what you agree with, what you think, what someone else told you. This is the direct experience. The direct experience of not an experience. That which isn't an experience, isn't moving and changing, and yet appears to be. It appears to be in flow. But never actually is. Always still, always free, always naked, always innocent, always unaffected. But humans are hypnotized. Hypnotized. There's something here that can't be hypnotized. Something here that can't be traumatized, can't be lost in a story, can't be working things out. And this is a pointing to that, a describing of that. These are words and concepts and ideas. They aren't truth, but they're pointing and describing something beyond the words, beyond the computation of the brain as it puts it into the right category. This is free. Free! Sorry. Free, free, free. So you are welcome to speak. Yes, my phone for Skype. Skype. Oh yes, I have a message. I meant to answer it, but I forgot to answer it. I apologise. Too pretchy. Just pop my phone here. Not to press any buttons. Okay. So, hi Prachi. Hi Rebecca, I suffer from depression. Have you too suffered from it? How did you come out of it? Hi Prachi. Yeah, it's a very heavy energy depression. It's really it's a really heavy energy depression. Yeah, it was heavily experienced here. Depression. So I feel like really feel that weight of it. I can't quite speak. My mouth feels really heavy. I have had depression very severely, actually. I came out of it. Well, like here, I had to like hit rock bottom, and then I discovered then self-help books. So psychology books seem to help. I'm not sure where you are, maybe India or something. I'm not sure how widely available they are there, but you can go online and find various topics of self-help books to address different issues you might have, and that really helped to lift the energy. It brought more hope and more like motivation and hope and like a lift out of that sort of hole. So I'd recommend that, self-help books or any kind of psychology books to help with your particular issues, going over what's happened to you in your life, in your childhood, and understanding the effects of that, and how that affects you now, what the effects are now to past experiences you've had. Maybe you could find a counsellor or a therapist, either where you live or online, but it's best to see them in person if you can. So yeah, therapist, books, psychology books, YouTube has many psychologists on there now doing videos about different things that happen in childhood and how to deal with it. So yeah, YouTube's great for that. Yeah, they're the main things you can do, really. for depression. Like, you become your own therapist, and use others to help as well, but you have to really take that on and look for the resolution of those issues. Spirituality can help as well with lifting and looking at certain things, but I wouldn't rely upon that on its own. Like, I wouldn't rely upon non-duality or any other type of teaching to help with depression. It can do a little, but I would say seek elsewhere to look at that. So yeah. And there are many other people who are depressed, so you're not alone in that sense. Like, there are other people that have that. Yeah, I wouldn't say go and find them, because that's going to be lots of heaviness together, but it can help in some way to know you know the other people that are around that have had that, or or are in that place of depression. But yeah, I would look into why that depression isn't there, what it's about, how you feel, like how it's fueling all the thoughts about how hopeless and pointless and hard, and all these negative self thoughts that may be coming up, and feelings of unworthiness and all these kinds of things. Just look into it. But non-duality isn't about that. Non-duality has nothing to do with how you feel. It's got nothing to do with that, which can sound very uncaring and unloving, but actually it only feels like that when you feel like you are small, and there's this higher power that should be the parent loving you unconditionally. To hear it's not caring about that is a bit like, well, why isn't the parent caring? But it's not like that. You aren't this small person that's depressed. That isn't who you are. But I don't want to say these things as and for you to use that to avoid looking at your depression, saying that you aren't someone, so therefore I'm not depressed, or ignoring it because there's no one there. I don't want to do that and imply that that's going to resolve the depression, repressing or suppressing or ignoring it. So yeah, look at that separately to non-duality. Look at things to help with depression, and I send you lots and lots of love, and yeah, lots of love and protection, and yeah, support and all of that stuff. Thank you, Prachi. Oh, it's lovely here. It's summertime, obviously, and it's lovely. It's really beautiful. So yeah, feel free to send any questions. I'm still online. Excuse me. Seeing just how all encompassing fear and anxiety has been running the show. The show is just heartbreaking. So much denial of love. Is this nothing to do anything? Is this nothing to do with anything about as everything else? Is this nothing to do? I was writing some more, maybe we'll clarify that bit. Hi, Orange, or Oivid, I think, Oivid. Is it Oivid? Oh yeah, that Viking show, it's called Norsemen. Just to let you know, in case you're trying to find it, it's called Norsemen. It's on Netflix. Oh sorry, can't do anything about it. Ease anxiety, accept fear or something. Seeing just how all encompassing fear, anxiety. Yeah. I'm unclear of your question, Oivid. I'm unclear of what you're asking. Yeah, Norseman. Oh, you know, okay. Yeah. Yeah, not sure of your question there. At the end of that, is this nothing to do anything about as everything else? I bet you've missed a word out or something. I'm sorry, I just tear up and cry when I see how fear and anxiety has affected much of my life. Oh. Yeah, there can be a grieving that can happen, a grieving around that. If you've had like trauma and you've not had that support or information about how to deal with that trauma, and you've been living with that trauma for 10, 20, 30 years, then yeah, there can be a grieving of what happened to you and how you've been carrying it for so long. There can be a grieving of that. So I can relate to that. But there's also, yeah, grieving. Yeah, it is like that. Yeah. And it's the same thing with like, I mean, this awakening is also, there's grieving as well in that. A release of pain. Yeah. Because it's not yours, it's not your pain or your trauma. So it was like two ways of talking about it actually. So in the trauma human way, you could say there's a grieving and a loss of not the life you could have had, but the loss and the pain of what you've been through. And so it's the releasing of that experience that's trapped in the system, in the body. There's a releasing of that, like a wounded child. There's a releasing and grieving of that. But also in awakening, there's also a grieving. There's double grieving. There's grieving as well as part of the awakening of who you thought you were. You thought you were a limited being. You thought you were a person, a wounded person, with all these issues and rejection and abandonment. Life's abandoned you. And so there's grieving in that as well. There's anger at God, at life, at society. What you've done to me, you've not been there, you've not helped me. There's all that stuff that comes out as part of awakening as well. As you release that's not true. That's not been that's not who you are. So you're losing that. You're losing that story. Oh, good. Yeah, it's not true. But that doesn't mean that there isn't grieving. The grieving is a part of this. It's totally perfect. But there's nothing ultimately wrong. I just I just don't know. I can't really even claim that I know any of this. It's just like, yeah, it's just like everything, and we believe it's about us. We're a person, we're limited, and it's got nothing to do with any person. It's so impersonal. It's not your grieving or grief. It's not your awakening. Life is an awakening. It's so beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful. It really is. Life seemingly identifies as a limitation, seemingly. And that's the experience of you being someone looking through the eyes, experiencing the world. I'm here in this body, experiencing the world, experiencing other. It's so beautiful, and that is a seeming journey, a seeming progression. So you're moving through as if you're someone experiencing. That's amazing. Amazing. And so much is happening and being held on to, affecting the body, affecting the system, affecting the conditioning, affecting the ideas. But always there's that stillness, always there's that immaculate being. And so on one level you can heal the experiences that affect the body. You can heal them and understand them and transmute them and integrate them and lessen them as the human. But what's looking is always that immaculateness that was never a person, always. So there can be a releasing on the human of trauma, of pain, of conditioning and changing and improving and developing. That's part of psychology. But there can also be a healing of the identification with being a person completely, a total grief or a total, like a detachment from being that human. And in that can be grieving as well, a loss. That's not who you are. That's not who you are. That's not what's looking. That's not what's experiencing. That's merely a character, a program of the body, the computer program, which can be improved and healed and made a bit better. But freedom is what you are. Love is what you are. Wholeness is what you are. And it was never conditioned. It was never damaged or affected. You are free. You are never a person. You are free. And when I say you, the mind immediately imagines an entity, a someone, but it really isn't a someone. It really isn't an entity or a person. That sense of you appears. It's an appearance appearing, popping up, popping up. It's not truth. It can't be. In deep sleep, where is that you popping up? When you're laughing with a friend, where is that you? When you're eating a pie. I don't know what I said. Pie. I like pie pastry. It's all been a dream, but it's not someone's dream. A pie, a pay. I'm Nordic. A pie. It's a pastry that has filling inside, maybe a gravy, and a pastry lid on top. It's very popular in the UK. Pie and mash. I don't know what you call that. A pay. Oh, we just don't eat it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So to go back to your question, yeah, grieving. Yeah. Grieving. It's totally okay. It's totally natural to grieve. It's totally natural. On whatever level, whatever subject, it's totally natural to grieve. It's actually a what's that word? Like it's a rejuvenating or like a replenishing. Like you grieve before a new, like fertile soil. You grieve a loss, and then there's a fertility there. It's a real natural healing thing to grieve, like you're losing something. Thank you, Oivid. Oivid. I like saying Oivid. Sorry, Oivid. I'm thinking of Norsemen now. Making me smile. Oh. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Rebecca. I feel quite torn apart at the moment. I think the outside world is an illusion, a dream, and the inside world to me is the portal to the actual reality. The only way out is in. Do you agree with that? I'll read it again. Yeah, I partly agree with that. I partly agree that the only way out is in. Like we imagine getting out of this, escaping this. We reach to the mind, to an idea, a concept, an activity, trying to escape this, the uncomfortability maybe of what's happening. So yeah, I agree in the sense that the only way out is in, but actually there is no out or in. There is no out and in. But yeah, in one way I can say yeah, it's like it's in, it's here, it's here. And another way of saying in could be here. It's here in what's happening. So we try and escape to the mind, to a belief, or to a concept, to time, past and future. But actually, what is happening, whatever it is it. It's not projected out. It's here. What is happening? But then, you know, the first part you've written, I think the outside world is an illusion. Like, like there is no outside. I can't see the outside world. There's no outside. Like that gets eroded. The outside, inside. You can't find the outside. The outside of what? Like there is no outside. Like, where are you? How can you find what's in and what's out? Where are you? I still feel tempted to dive deep into the dream, though. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Well, there is no choice on that, really. There is no choice on that. That's been the dream, that you have a choice to dive in or stay out. How? Who? Thank you, Adrian. I really enjoyed that question. Okay, so maybe we leave it there this evening. I can see you writing deeper, but I'm gonna just end the stream. End the stream there. Okay, thank you for joining. Have a lovely summer weekend, and I shall see you next Thursday. Okay, bye.